everyone. I am here with Mr. John L. Brown. I am super excited. I'm so grateful that he took out time out of his busy schedule to come sit and talk with me today. So, Mr. Brown is the founder of Uplifting Communities Talk Show and television and radio show. He's the only African American talk show here in Sacramento, and that is such an honor that he chose me to. And I just want to thank him for coming to my office and talking with me about his expansion plans and what he's looking to go and moving forward with his talk show. So I will go ahead and let you take it over, Mr. Brown. Thank you so much again, and this is so exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. Well, everyone, my name is John L. Brown. I am the founder of Uplifting Communities Talk Show. And I really appreciate Miss Gray, Miss Erlene Gray, at that, for bringing me on her platform to, talk about what am I doing. She want to know, how did I come up with the idea of Uplifting Communities Talk Show? Oh, well, Miss Erlene, this has been a while back, okay? I had did a documentary. That was before I wrote the book. I mean, not before, after I wrote my book, Mentally Blind, Open Your Eyes. Well, I did a documentary, The Mentally Blind in America. And I saw the way as though it was needed. The mentally blind, there's a lot of things that goes on in our communities that we don't know about. We don't know. I mean, people come in our communities, they take our jobs, they take our businesses, they take everything they possibly can and leave the poor African Americans, kind of like on his own. Okay? And we got to get out there and we got to struggle to get this, we got to struggle to get that, and there's a lot of things, that, oh man, it's not good. So I had this company out of Canada, and they was getting me interviews with different radio shows, and also they tried to get me on a few television shows, which they did. They got me on one. Okay, I did television shows in Louisiana, okay, and I've did a lot of shows, one of them in Las Vegas on radio and things of that nature. And so one day I was sitting down, and it was this lady named Miss J. I got to give Miss J her props. Hi, Miss J. Got to give her my prop, or her props, is because when she and we was talking, and she was kind of like making sure everything went well with the people that was doing advertisement for me and getting me interviews in Canada. Okay, she was kind of like my spokesperson. And so me and Miss Gray me and Miss J, we was talking, and I said, Miss J, I want to get my own talk show. I think it's very, very important for me to get a talk show. I did everything else except a talk show. I have to do this. And she said, well, John, what kind of talk show you want to get? I said, well, Uplifting Communities Talk Show. I said, the reason for that is so many things in the community that need to be done. And we need to get, the information out. I would like to get people that's doing positive things in a community that's never, and they will never will come on a regular talk show, a platform, and let people know in their community what they are doing. And I thought it was so important. I say so many businesses out here that's doing so many positive things, like Miss Erlene Gray, okay? And there's so many other people out there that's doing positive things, and they don't have a platform for them to go. You can't go to Channel 7. They ain't gonna want you on there. Good Morning America. Yeah, you can go ahead on and get on, but you probably ain't gonna go nowhere. This is a real platform. This is a real platform. Uplifting Communities Talk Show. So what I did, I went radio, Blog Talk Radio. Okay, we was on there for about 3.5 years. Miss J was my host. Oh, well, she was not my host, but she was considered a host too. She was, helped me out a whole lot. And me and Miss J, we ran that talk show for about 3.5 years, right at 4 years, and we didn't miss a beat. Every Sunday we was doing it. So one day I was sitting down and I said, we're doing really well. We done interviewed people from the Bahamas Island. We done interviewed people from the UK. We interviewed people from all over the United States. We interviewed people from all walks of life. I'm talking about Spanish. I'm talking about Asians. I'm talking about blacks. I'm talking about whites. I'm talking about different people, different nationality. And you know one thing, check this out. All of them has the same goal. And that's to make their community better. That's to uplift the people in their community that's struggling. And these people, okay, is taking money out of their own pocket and doing things, like volunteering and buying, going to the schools and buying kids that come from poor families, buying them shoes, t-shirts, helping them out to go to school, also trying to mentor. These are people that's in a community that's doing positive things. So we start bringing those people on. Now, did that for about 3.5 years, and then all of a sudden I got to thinking. I said, I can't be all at one, everywhere at one time. So why don't let me take this to Sacramento, okay, and just do a television talk show. So I didn't have I reached out to a couple of television stations and stuff, They got back with me, we talked and things of that nature, And so they was giving me some game and stuff on how to get my own television show. But if I saw that, hey man, it's gonna cost me some money, and I don't have the money, I'm a poor man, So what I did, I went on and got with Access Sacramento. I talked to a gentleman by the name of TD. He's the program director, and he decided to say, so I asked him if he would come on board with me. I talked to another lady, her name is Terry O'Neill. I asked her if she would come on board with me, and they both said yes. So we had a meeting at my house, and I had fixed some food and everything, and so TD got a gentleman, another guy that does filming, and we all got together, and hey, we've been on air now for at least about, I would say maybe eight months. We done did 15 shows. Okay, 15 Uplifting Communities talk shows. That was last year. And we looking for bigger things this year. We looking for big things this year.
Wow. You know what? You're so impressive. Just hearing your story and how you, instead of just talking about it, you just did it. And you didn't know how you were going to do it, but you knew that you could do it, and you did it. And I just think it's amazing. That's something that Sacramento needs. We do need a platform for our people to broadcast their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, there are 8,000 businesses here in Sacramento. The reason why you don't know about them is because a lot of them are home-based businesses, and because they're home-based businesses, no one knows about it.
Right.
What are you looking to showcase on your talk show? What is most important to you?
Well, what are we planning on doing? We had a meeting, my staff. We had a meeting this Saturday, just passed, and so what I would like to see actually happening is that we're gonna be bringing on people. Getting people, let's say the unions, and try and have them explain to the people how they can actually, get into the union in the building and trade, okay? And we're gonna get people like yourself, a professional financial advisor, and teach people about how, to manage their money and how to make sure that if anything happened in their family, they be covered, especially with insurance. Man, I see it all the time. Somebody pass away, they be out there washing cars, You know, some people want to be buried, they can't even bury them. You understand? So they have to go the cheapest route, which is cremation. You know, I mean, it's a mess out there. It's serious out there. So here's what we planning on doing. We can't get to everybody on a talk show, but here's what we planning on doing. Planning on going to different community centers throughout the Sacramento area. We're going to, you know, use that as a model and see if we can get maybe like a little session. Can I open this here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Like this. You have this right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have a little session like this here, maybe on the wall, okay, at the community center, and have Uplifting Communities Talk Show right here. Just a little section. And under there, have like little pamphlets or whatever we can put on maybe how to get into building and trade, how to, you know, how to get insurance, you know, that's car, life, whatever, you know, different things that's needed in the community. You see what I'm saying? Opening up the people's eyes on different things. Now, a lot of them don't know nothing about Uplifting Communities Talk Show, okay? Because we young, we just coming out. We just, you know, we trying, you know, to get our name out there and trying to help the people in the community, the businesses, and also regular people, period. So I'm planning on, like, for myself, is planning on going to the community center, maybe once a month or something, you know, and talk with the people that come into the community center and ask them, hey, have you ever heard of Uplifting Community Talk Show?
Mm-hmm.
And most of them gonna say, no, I never heard of it. So well, let me introduce you to Uplifting Community Talk Show. Come on over here, and then take them to the board. Okay, this is Uplifting Communities Talk Show. You can get everything you need right here. That's including a job, training, you know, a section to where though you can get paid, you know, information on how to get paid for going to school or taking a trade. You see, introduce them to that. So where they can come and get that pamphlet and maybe take it home or give it to a friend. That's what I'm planning on doing. Now, once we get Sacramento together, well, I'm going to Oakland, I'm going to Vallejo, I'm going to even Louisiana. They ain't gonna stop me. They ain't gonna stop the talk show. And when God decides to take me home, I would like somebody to take this over. We're not gonna do like we did Martin Luther King, okay, and Malcolm X. The fire died out. I want to take this Uplifting Communities Talk Show where the fire will never, it'll never burn out. But I need your help and your support.
So what kind of people, so are you looking for a board of directors? Or what type of people are you looking for to help you pretty much launch Uplifting Communities Talk Show in regards of the footwork and talking with people and getting the word out? And you know, because at the end of the day, it is word of mouth.
Right.
One man, one show can't do it by themselves. It takes a whole community.
That's
so how exactly are you looking, what are you looking for to help you brand this magnetic ideal that you have? You know, because I have some cards in my back pocket. I'm already ready. He waiting for me to call him today. So what exactly what do you need from the people? I know the support and to watch the show and to contact you to let them know, like, hey, you know, I have this business and I'm having a hard time with letting people know what it is that I'm doing. So I need to reach the masses. What are you looking for in regards of the people and helping you get this thing off the ground to where it needs to be?
Right. Well, I'm looking for someone that's go-getters. Okay, you got to be a go-getter. You can't be afraid of going out there, you know, and talking to the people and let the people know what's going on. You can't be afraid of the police department, okay? You can't be afraid of the mayor. You can't be afraid of the police chief. These are people that's They just people just like us, but we respect their position, but they not no better than you, me, or whatever. We need people that's not afraid to say, well, hey, look, we need this in our community. We need this, we need to come up with a group or something to go out there and plant some flowers in our community. We need people to go in the homes and and talk to families, on certain things, and get the support from the city. If you're a nonprofit or whatever, that's fine. You can do that too. It's everything's about uplifting communities. We need to, every time you turn around, to be honest with you, I've gave away, I don't call it an event or nothing like that, because most of the time when I do something, it's for free. Like, for example, my documentary, okay, the mentally blind in America. I did a documentary. I had my opening, okay, it was in Louisiana. And I did it in Louisiana, in my hometown, Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I wanted to show the people in Lake Charles, the young people in Lake Charles, that, hey, I didn't finish high school. I went to I was fixing to graduate from high school a year before, and we were standing in a project. My grandmother took care of me because my mother, not too many people know about this, but my mother died at my birth. I was 6 months old when my mama died, okay? And I lived with different people, and, and it was rough. It was really, really rough for me. But my grandmother mainly raised me, but she told me I was fixing to turn 18 and I was going into the 12th grade. She told me that I wasn't going to be able to stay at the house in the projects, okay, because she could get put out. I was finna turn 18. And back then, when you turn 18, well, then you can't stay in the projects with your family. So you got to go stay with somewhere. Well, you can stay there, but, you sneak it in. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to see my grandmother get put out, so I went to the military. That was my only way, for me to, so I went to the Marine Corps. I volunteered to go to the Marine Corps. I went to Vietnam. I did 7 years in the Marine Corps. I had 3 tours in Vietnam. I have a Purple Heart. I have a Bronze Star. I did a lot of fighting. I saw lots and lots and lots and lots of combat. And after the fall of Saigon, and I don't know if too many people know about this, but after the fall of Saigon, I was fixing to rotate. It was time for me to get out the military. So I had a chance to re-enlist. No, I got out because it was enough. I had been seen enough. And then when I got out, I traveled from this state, that state, this state. I lived in Texas, Louisiana. I lived in Denver, a little town. I didn't live there, but I stayed there a few days. A little town called Las Vegas, New Mexico, and so I'll never forget this year at Las Vegas, New Mexico. I was passing through there. That's how I got a chance to get there. And I was going to Arizona. I left Denver, going to Arizona. And so my car broke down. So I didn't have no money. Okay, just enough money to get to point A to point B. And the car broke down on a freeway. And so the police highway patrolman saw me on the side of the road. He pull over. Pretty nice guy, Spanish. And so he had my car towed to a mechanic shop, which was nice. Now I ain't got nowhere to stay out there. Limited on money. So they took me to this board and care. It's a home, but it's for like people that that know where to stay. And I met a lot of people up in there. And I'm looking at these people, but what's amazing, I met this lady up in there, and they called her Roadrunner. And so me and her, we talked, and she was telling me that you got to be careful. And so she said, she was telling me about how it was. But she took me to this club. I was meeting to this club or that night, and I was all Mexicans. I couldn't speak Mexican, their language, and they couldn't hardly understand what I was saying. But it showed me that people can communicate with each other, you know. Yeah, but it's been a wild experience for me. Okay.
So regarding your book, where did that come from? I know you touched on it a little bit, but was it like one of those aha moments? Was it one of those, I should write a book? Or was this years of thinking about it? Or how exactly did that whole process come about?
Okay. Before the my first book. Okay. Which book are you talking about?
The Mentally Blind, but you have
Mentally
another.
Blind.
Yeah, you
Right.
have another book.
Before Mentally Blind, I wrote a book called The Unspoken: What the World Don't Talk About. Okay. Now, how did I get to that? It was a coincidence. I mean, it was a trip. How I got to that. I was working for the United States Post Office, and by being a Vietnam veteran, I was going through a lot of problems. I'm talking about some problems, man. I couldn't hardly sleep at night. I was dreaming about that stuff. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it was horrible. I wake up with cold sweats and bathe wet, because I was sweating, going through nightmares and all of this craziness. You know what I'm saying? So I went, and I couldn't hardly take it no more. So I went to the vet center up in Oakland, California. And so they told me that there's a possibility that I might have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from the Vietnam War, because they looked at my records and saw all the combat I've been in, the operations I've been in, and things of that nature. So they thought that I may have PTSD. So they did an assessment on me, and sure enough, they found that I had PTSD, which I'm not ashamed of it, because PTSD is real, but it can be controllable, So I've been controlling it pretty good so far, except for the last 4-5 months. I've been coming back, and it's been a little rough for me. But anyway, they recommended that I go to a PTSD program that the government was giving for the Vietnam veterans, the combat Vietnam veterans, and so I went, and I decided I thought about it, and I said, it ain't gonna hurt, to go and try to better my life. Because at that time I was drinking a little bit too much. I was smoking that weed and things of that nature. But I was doing it not because I was addicted, because I don't think I was. I don't know, maybe I was, but I don't think I was. I was doing it because it made me sleep. It made me feel a little bit better, and it gave me some self-confidence in myself, And so I remember when I was in a program, they had me, sit back and think about all everything that I've went through, in life. They had me in a program called psychotherapy. Okay, and I had to sit down there and talk to people, that was gone, and things like that, like my mama, my daddy, my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? That I was carrying so much stuff, in me, and then one of the therapists, where he told me, he said, I want you to go ahead on and sit down there and write, what you done been through, things that done hurt you, things that you done seen, and things. I want you to put that on paper. And I also want you to do a journal, keep a journal. So I started writing what I saw, what I've been through, and then I started keeping a journal. And so this is how the title came up. The unspoken, what the world don't talk about. You got me?
Yeah, that's.
You know, and so, you know, like I talk about certain things, you know, in the book that we don't never talk about around the dinner table.
Yeah.
We don't never talk about, talk to our kids about certain things, you know what I'm saying? So this is how it's up. Now, the mentally blind, how I came about doing that was like a spinoff from the unspoken, what the world don't talk about. Mentally blind, open your eyes. Now, when I was staying in Oakland, I was a mail carrier, okay? So what happened was that I used to see young brothers, okay, sitting standing up on the corner, and they would wake up in the morning. Well, they'll wake up in the morning and construction going on in the community. If it's construction going on in a community, okay, they would go to the store, okay, and come back as though this, you know, that's the way it is. But it was never no blacks working on those construction sites. I seen this with my eyes. Okay, that's one thing. That's just one thing. Mentally blind. Open your eyes. In other words, you got black folks in a community, young, able, don't mind going to work in a community, and they've got only whites and Mexicans working on the job site, and half of the Mexicans can't even speak English. And I'm not trying to single out nobody, because God knows, you know, like we all human beings and we all have to feed our families. But why, I mean, you know, why are you out of work, man? Why are you out of work? Why you not, you know, you could be making that $12 an hour, or, you know, digging the holes or in the ditch or whatever. You could be making that. And so mentally blind, open your eyes, is that, can't you see what's going on? You don't have no blacks working in your community. That's your community. They taking people from outside the community and bringing them in. Then you go to the store, you understand, no black owned stores. They're all either Middle Easterners or Pacific, you know what I'm saying, or Southeast Asian, you know, own all the businesses, the stores and everything. Black people don't own nothing. Now they go ahead on and they'll let you be a black mayor, a black district manager, and things like that. And these people, it's not even thinking about us. They seem as though they're not thinking about us, long as they eating their steaks. And then you got poor babies, man. You understand, going to school without lunch. You got mothers, you understand, trying to raise, you know, children by herself with no help. You understand? Mentally blind. Open your eyes.
One thing I do love when I talk to you is your passion for your people in your community. Each time I talk to you, it's always, you have the same passion and the same admiration of we need to get it together. It's the same message, just in different forms. And that's another reason why I wanted to sit and talk with you, to let the people hear what I hear and the influences of people that I surround myself with who want to see more in their community. I think it's just amazing. You know, I think there's a lot of people out there like you that just don't know which direction to go, or who would like to do something and don't know what to do, who to talk to. And meeting with people like yourself can direct them in the right direction on which way to go. How can you be a part of your community? How can you help more?
Right.
So I just want to thank you. This has been such an inspiring, out of all the people I've talked to. This is one of the my top three of inspiring and inspiration, and just wanting to connect with the masses and as many people as possible. So, in regards of Uplifting Communities Talk Show, and you being a founder of it, is that a big weight on your shoulder, or how do you see it from your eyes in regards of where you're taking this?
Well, uh, there's a lot of things that I really want to do with the talk show, but to be honest with you, funding, money is a big issue. Okay, I don't really have the money to really do what I need to do. So, I do what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that happens with the Uplifting Communities Talk Show, it comes out of my pocket. Everything, it comes out of my pocket, and that's why I thank God so much. You're gonna know that I'm a strong believer in God. I don't go to church like I should, but I'm a strong believer in God. I believe as though God is the one that make things happen.
Absolutely.
But we have to put him first. But it's it ain't too much you can do without funding. It ain't too much you can do without people backing you up. You can only do a little, and I think I've been doing pretty good. I remember it ain't too much you can do without people backing you up. You can only do a little, and I think I've been doing pretty good. I remember the time, well, I still do it sometimes, but I was really doing it, I would take everything, let's say if I go out and do a book signing or whatever, I take all my money from the book signing. I go to the dollar store or whatever and get some bags and do like a little care package. All my little money, everything that I made from my little book, I wouldn't keep none of it. I get like toothpaste, I get like toothbrushes, different things like socks, and then I would go out on the street and I see the homeless people sitting down, somebody sitting down that needs, I think that might need a care package. I have soap up in there and stuff like that, and I give it to them. Hey man, hey, look here, I got something for you, and I would give it to them.
No, you are most definitely a pillar in the community.